Another episode of Tales of Tales with MD. I'm your host Manisha. Today we have a very interesting guest. I leave it for you to guess. A writer, animal behaviorist, creative director, trainer, contributing editor at Sunday Midday and founder of Good Dog. Today we speak to Mitali Parekh. Hi Mitali.
Hello.
Let's start with your early association with animals. How did it all begin?
I've always had dogs since I was a child. My elder brother would bring home dogs, so I've always had them. But then I was just a pet parent or a human with pets, but not a professional.
So you are from Bombay?
I'm fourth generation Bombay. I'm very Bombay.
Nice. Okay. So how did this? So what I've heard is you were a journalist. You are still a journalist. So how did this transition happen from being a journalist to pet parent you always were, but to a now professional in this space? So what triggered that transition?
So I was very lucky that it wasn't a transition. It's actually more like parallel lines. I'd worked with PETA. I'd worked with other animal bodies, and my editor at the time at Mumbai Mirror knew of my love for pets, so she wanted us to write a column, and I knew the power of a newspaper, so I wanted it to be a very informed sort of column, not just talking about how cute dogs are. I wanted there to be information, so I enlisted to do the first trainer course with Shirin Dhabar, and I wrote the column. It was called Pet Puja. I wrote it for 4 years. It was in Pune and in Mumbai.
Okay.
And then, since I had the skill, I would train on the side. I really fell in love with the science of training. So I did more courses. I did the behavior course, I did the therapy course, I did the aggression course. I'm right now on the advanced intervention course. So I really just fell in love with the science. And then both my vocations are very luckily feeding off each other, because I can write about it. And I can put out informative stuff, and I get to train. So that's all good.
So training is a proper science. It needs skill set. So what does getting trained as a behaviorist or a proper pet trainer entail? What all does it involve?
So it involves studying how dogs learn, how to teach, what are rewards, what is reinforcement, timing, body language, reading the dog's body language, and of course knowing scientifically about the dog's breed. Because there's something that is an innate behavior for a certain breed of dog, which will not be for another breed. So those are the things.
So is it that only dogs need training, or do all dogs need training? Or is it that, some are naturally like that, so you don't need to teach them anything?
I look at training more as communication, as telling your dog what you expect of her to fit into the life that you want to build together. So in that sense, I would think every dog at some point would benefit from having a trainer, because the trainer teaches you as a pet parent about how to teach your dog to do this. Some dogs are naturally more biddable, maybe quieter, maybe take instruction easier, and some don't. So there will be maybe a difference in the amount of training you need and what kind of training you need.
So I'm assuming the training needs for different breeds is also different.
Very much so.
So give us some examples.
So say an indie who is just learning to live with humans will need training to say, listen, you don't like people, you're afraid of people, I understand that's genetic. When the doorbell rings, you go into that inner room and I will ensure nobody bothers you.
Okay.
While with a Labrador, which is a very popular breed, I know you love humans so much, but you're going to have to learn not to jump on humans and just say hello once. And if I say leave it, because there are humans who don't want to say hello to you, you must leave and go into the corner and not sniff them.
Okay. So you also train cats. What are the striking differences you have seen in terms of working with dogs and working with cats?
So I don't train cats as much as I'm a feline behaviorist. So you'll have to think of training like school and behavior work to be like college or like psychotherapy, like for potential needs. So for behavior work for cats usually involves behaviors like, how do I get my cat and my dog to get along
together?
Why is my cat so nervous? Why is my cat peeing all over the place all of a sudden? So it's problem solving.
Okay.
Cats can be trained. There are people who train cats to sort of do commands and play fetch. But my role is more about problem solving behaviors.
So what I'm understanding is training and behavior are two different things. Training is not just teaching them commands. It involves much more than that. And like you were mentioning that to give the dog a larger life.
Yes.
So could you help our viewers understand what is this larger life that you mentioned?
So first we'd understand the dog. Do you like humans? Do you not like humans? Or do you like other dogs? Or don't you like other dogs? Okay. Then I'm going to teach you to walk on a leash nicely so that you can take a walk everywhere. I'm going to teach you to be okay at the vets with handling so that you're never deprived of medical care.
Okay.
Right? And there might be some dogs who don't like it because of trauma. Then I'm going to make the muzzle a very happy, okay thing. Because I need you to have medical care. I cannot have a dog have diminished medical care. And then some dogs who really, really like humans and like having a large life, I will teach them, you're going to become a therapy dog. So you get to go to cafes, you get to go to, any dog can go to a cafe, it doesn't have to be a therapy dog. But let's talk about pet dogs. So then I want you to be able to go to a cafe to, go out with your friends. I want you to be able to go live at this auntie's house and that auntie's house when your mom travels.
Correct.
And be happy about it so you have a larger family. I want you to be okay taking instructions from many people so somebody else can come and walk you.
Okay.
So you get to walk on different places with different people. And that becomes a larger life, taking on holidays.
Yeah.
Right? And then being able to walk the dog on a holiday in Goa, say.
Correct.
Because the dog knows how to behave around
That's
stray dogs.
That's a new environment for the dog. So the dog should be comfortable.
Ignore stray dogs. Right?
Okay.
So that would be the larger life. And then of course you can have a working dog. Dogs who really enjoy being outdoors and they will do all sorts of work like a therapy work, like go to corporates, go to birthday parties, go to work with a psychologist, work in a school. And that becomes a really large life.
So how does a dog become a therapy dog?
We check for two things. First, we check for aptitude at a very young age. And that's the best thing I love about dogs is that what we think of as a bad habit in humans is a great habit in dogs. We look for an attention-seeking dog, a dog who keeps going up to humans. Then we'll train him or her for a whole year to respond to me in different scenarios, get used to sights, sounds, people, smells. So there's hyper-socialization. And all the times to respond to me and not to the other dog. Then we assess the dog at 1 year of age. There are parameters we check with, how are you with touching? Because if you could work with toddlers, you'd have a bit of rough touch.
Right.
You could work with people with special needs, so you have to be okay with wheelchairs and crutches and not be freaked out by that. You have to have a very soft touch, so maybe you can work with seniors then without sort of, harming their skin. Right, so we'll assess the dog for many parameters, and then maybe we'll see that the dog is more suited, everything is good, but she's just not good with other dogs. So maybe she can be a one-on-one therapy dog with a psychologist.
Okay.
Or a single working dog or a reading dog.
So it has to start at a younger age. So like if a dog is a senior dog,
we could assess a dog we could assess a dog at senior age and say, what, you have all of the parameters. I think the most important thing is the dog has to like it. It's work.
Yeah.
And it is stressful because you go into an environment that's very stimulating. It's sights, sounds, smells. And after that, we have to de-stress the dog.
Okay.
Right? It is
after every session?
After every session.
Okay.
After every session, we de-stress the dog. We know a dog's working capacity that my dog can do, say, 1 session a week. Also, I am a team with my dog. So when I see my dog is uncomfortable in a session, she starts giving the signs. It's my duty to say, okay, now it's over. So that she doesn't have to escalate it to a snap or a bark, which would scare people.
Right.
So the dog has to like it and have the aptitude for it. If the dog doesn't like humans, this is not the work for her.
Okay. So are there certain breeds who are suitable for therapy and not all dogs
Some
can
are
do therapy?
predisposed to wanting to please humans more.
Like a Labrador?
Labradors, retrievers, lots of small dogs. I have a Labradoodle who does very well. I have a mini poodle who's a great therapy dog. I'm right now working with a Mastiff who's showing great aptitude for it as well. We have a Weimaraner who's doing very well. She's a gunhound and she's showing great aptitude for it. So there are several types of dogs who are predisposed, but I also know of indies who've made great therapy dogs.
So only dogs can be therapy dogs. That's not the case with cats.
No, actually we found cats to work very well with children on the autism spectrum.
Oh.
Yes. So if you have, again, a highly socialized cat, like a cat who's okay with, people and going to other places, Sorry, my cat's looking damn cute right now. So we found them to work very well with neurodivergence spectrum, because you really have to come out of yourself to befriend a cat, to draw the cat out. So it really pushes the child out of the comfort zone.
Okay.
And they're smaller, they're not jumpy. So the children are far more drawn towards cats than they are towards dogs.
Okay.
So cats have known to work very well on the autism spectrum.
Oh, I didn't know cats can also be therapy
they do,
cats.
They do. They work very well.
So, when when you get a pet home, so like when I got a pet home, I did not feel the need of training, or I was not aware enough that training is important. So, is it like that every dog should be trained, or is it's a necessity for the dog, or is it like, it's just about teaching commands, I can do it myself?
You could teach commands yourself, and we didn't have trainers 20, 30 years ago, and that worked out well.
Yeah.
So that can work for you, but in case you do have a larger vision or have problematic behaviors, it doesn't harm to consult a trainer. Or
So it's always good to consult a trainer.
Yeah, especially if you're a first-time parent, maybe to know what the potential of your dog is and what is the life you can lead with your dogs, and what is it that your dog needs to be happy and to thrive. Because we'll have to start with the premise that the dog did not have any say in coming to your home. She did not volunteer for it.
Correct.
And then do you know what your dog wants? Because it's very different from what a human wants.
Correct. You also mentioned that you do a program for reactive behaviors in dogs. So what is that all about, and what all does it cover, and who needs it?
So I work with reactive dogs, so dogs who say snap or are afraid out of various things, or just really stressed. So scared dogs, nervous dogs, dogs who are traumatized, dogs we've rescued from places who need to de-stress. And then when that nervous system is open, without getting into too much technicalities, you learn best when you're relaxed. A dog who's in fear is always in the flight or fight thing. The nervous system is very activated. We relax it. And then we have a golden period in which to teach the doggy a new behavior. So if you have a doggy who's just lunging towards another dog, you do a trek. In a trek, the dog acts out all her innate behaviors, what a dog needs to be happy. Okay. B, her parasympathetic nervous system is activated because all her senses lead her towards it.
So could you explain the parasympathetic nervous system?
Yeah, sure.
For me also, and for the viewers
I would, okay. So we have the vagus nerve, which is the most important nerve, which goes from our reptilian brain down to the main organs. Okay. Now reptilian brain is the part that tells us danger, fight or flight. Okay. And then it sets signals to the rest of our body. So heart starts pumping more. Blood rushes to the limbs because we're going to have to run fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes your bowels evacuate. Remember, you feel like going to the loo, because so that you're lighter and you can run off.
Okay.
Okay. And what happens to your vision? And you'll notice this when you're scared. You have what is known as tunnel vision. You start assessing the environment only for threat. Because that's the important information right now.
Yes.
I don't need to know how green the leaves are. You know how wonderful the breeze is.
So whatever is closest to me.
Is it a threat? Oh, like, are you scared of lizards?
Yeah, very.
So, and then if you're in a room and there's a lizard, you're just constantly thinking of the lizard, right? You're not thinking of this wonderful clock.
Correct.
Yeah. Or noticing the color of the bottle there, right? So that's, now this is a two-way highway, right? If I relax your parasympathetic nervous system, it'll tell the brain, you know what, there's nothing to be scared of.
Oh.
So while the brain tells everything, all the senses, I can use the senses to tell the brain, actually there's nothing to be scared of. And this happens most naturally in nature because A, it's larger, right? Flight option is huge.
Yeah.
Right now there's a lizard where you're going to run, right? Everything's shut. If you were in a field,
you can run anywhere.
Yeah, you're not thinking of killing the lizard. You're like, I'll just go there.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing for a dog, right?
Yeah.
You're already thinking, how can I go get the pesticide? There are no smells of pollution. It smells green. Science has shown us that there are bio things, I won't get into technical, I think that spark production of serotonin, which is your happiness hormone in your brain. The soil has those, microbiomes that do that. The land itself is soft, it's not concrete. Maybe the dog is doing something that needs high concentration, which is climbing.
Yeah.
Right? Now when I'm climbing, my body and my mind is one. I don't have time to be afraid.
Oh yeah, yeah. So there's no time
Yeah,
for
so
distraction.
useless, right? What do people do in gyms? Gyms not maybe, but if you're doing something like a rock climbing, you tend to be more relaxed afterwards because there's a single-minded focus. Okay, the breeze feels nice. Maybe the dog goes for a swim, and we know water does that. Water grounds you, grounding grounds you. Of course, the breeze feels great. What are the sounds I hear? And remember, dogs see the world more through smell and through their ears.
Yes.
What are the sounds I hear? It's birds chirping, and this is very, very important. We forget this, and you'll have to know this is important for us also to know why we're so relaxed in nature. Is remember we are apes. When there are birds chirping, it means there's no predator around.
Yeah.
If there's a predator around, the birds go silent.
Silent, correct.
And we still have that brain. So when there are birds chirping, I am relaxed. Immediately. And immediately my brain opens up to say, all right, look at that flower. What is that bird? Oh, this is nice, cool rain, but the sun is shining. This is nice. A nervous dog is always in fight or flight, and this I see a lot with Indies because they're living in an environment they're not used to.
Yes.
And they're forced to. They come home and they go into a deep sleep. And for the first time, maybe in years, the nervous system relaxes and goes into a deep sleep and gets up sort of, there's neuroplasticity, which is now I can bend that behavior. Like, okay, I'm relaxed. Kya karna hai?
So few hours of trek does that?
Yes, I have found few hours. So we did this with one dog who was reactive to everything, and she really is the one who put me on this path because first I had to do it recreationally for my dog, but Rory the Weimaraner is the one who taught me how this can be an important program for behavior modification. We did this with her about once a month during COVID, and we saw changes. You know, she was better in cars, she was better on the walk, she was better in things. And then the lockdown happened, and she had 7 months of not getting this exposure, but those behaviors remained.
Oh,
They didn't go back.
okay,
She was still okay on walks. She was still okay with cars.
okay.
And eventually she got okay with people, with cars, with rain, with other dogs, with other people, children, and everything in the urban environment.
Okay, so what's this noise? Is he sleeping with his eyes open?
No, this is a cat showing us she's happy. This is a happy, content, safe cat.
Oh, nice.
It's known to be therapeutic also, but it's a great sign that my cat is happy,
Cute.
content.
So as you mentioned COVID. COVID saw a surge of a lot of people getting pets, and that time pets lived within the house, not meeting too many people, and they were alone just with their pet parents. And pet parents were there at home all the time.
Yes.
And then suddenly after COVID, everybody had to move out, and then pets also had to go out for their to do their job, you know, outside. So what you know, there were obviously a lot of behavior changes which happened, but as pet parents, we may not have noticed those, and we just thought, you know, there's something wrong with the pet, or we may have thought it's not. So how did you handle those kind of issues, and any tips for pet parents who would have gone through that in the past during COVID, but still not have been able to solve those issues?
So unfortunately, the dog's socialization period is 5 months, which is when it is very important to introduce the dog to all sides of sights, sounds, smells, people.
Okay.
So yes, dogs did not go out, and also what happened is that they did not see the normal things that happen in their lives, which is a lot of traffic outside,
Correct.
lots of noises, doorbell ringing, people coming and going, elevators, right? Delivery people.
Correct.
All of that wasn't there, so dogs were not used to it. Second thing is you got used to seeing your pet parent in your house 24 hours.
Yes.
So we had a lot of separation anxiety. They didn't know how to be separated from their pet parents. These behaviors have come. Unfortunately, we can modulate the fears from a 5, we could bring it to a 3, because now they were too old to expose them to these things like sounds and doorbells and people. Separation anxiety, we've been able to work on a little bit more. Be okay with being left alone. But the fears we did see are much higher. Sort of.
So difficult to address those.
It was, It would depend on the intensity of fear, the kind of dog. So, and only be able to modulate it a point or two, and not remove it completely, because it was hardwired now.
How about a lot of people have 2 different kinds of breed living together. Like I have 2 very different breeds living together, and they are very different in nature and personalities. So how do you get along such breeds who are very different in, like for example, a lab and a golden retriever are quite similar in nature, but say a Labrador and say a Shih Tzu, very different in nature. So how do you manage such breeds, or what should pet parents decide or be educated about before they decide to get such different breeds together in a home?
So the most important thing to remember is that you have to have an independent relationship with each of the dog.
Okay.
They should not have a stronger bond than you have with each of them.
Oh.
Because they will.
How do you do that?
You spend time individually, training,
Okay.
walking, feeding.
Okay.
So then you're able to impose rules like, you can't do that.
Okay.
Stop rough play. So you have to be the most important thing in each dog's
Each
life
one's.
and not the dog in each other's.
Okay.
Okay, because they will learn naughty behaviors from each other first, and they will also gang up against
Like
you.
kids.
And they'll gang up against you. So the
Okay.
magic formula is 3 differences. A difference in breed, like in size. So a large dog and a small dog, that's ideal. Male and female, that's ideal.
Okay.
Like mother and sister is the worst combination. Mother-daughter, sorry. That's the worst combination. And a 5 years difference in age.
5 years difference in age.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is your magic combination if you want to have two dogs.
Okay.
Of course, my favorite combination is a cat and a dog, but yeah, you must have.
So
two
that
dogs.
happened naturally for me, I guess,
Yes.
because my dogs are 5 years,
Yeah, and
actually
they're
5-6
different-
years different, and different breeds also, and
different
one is
sexes, yeah.
big and one is small.
That's an ideal
So that's why they
concept.
got along, and we were wondering, okay, maybe
Yeah.
it's magic, they just got along.
No, it's just the odds were in their favor.
Yeah. Okay.
Because also at 5 years, you've had a very strong bond with your older dog.
Yes.
And then the other one comes in, you're able to give that time for that strong bond with the
But
second
we
one.
felt a lot of times that, maybe Whiskey is feeling ignored, or he feels that we are giving more attention to Oreo.
Ideally, dogs don't want another dog in their home. They just want a bond with their human. So dogs don't really seek out other dog friends. They might be friendly with a dog outside, but in their home, they like being, and especially if it's an old dog who's been there for a long time, really wants to be the only person in their human's life.
So how about dogs and cats together? Because that's a question, I've heard a lot, that it's very difficult to get a dog and a cat together. You have a cat and a dog, both.
Yes.
So how do people manage that, or any tips on how one should manage that kind of an
So firstly, you
environment?
do need a dog who does not have a high prey drive, a chase instinct,
Okay.
because that's what sparks the dog
So
off.
then it becomes a
more
breed specific
difficult.
thing also?
Yeah.
Not all dogs can
Not
be.
all dogs. Not all
Okay,
dogs can.
okay.
So anything with a high chase instinct, a prey drive, not a good idea.
Okay.
At all. But then if you have a dog who has a low prey drive, who's not reactive, then what you really have to do is teach the dog to get along, and you also divide the house vertically, because cats like high hidden spaces, and so give them things that they can jump off from one to the other.
Huh.
And then the resources are divided such so that your
Okay.
food and water is up, dogs food and water is down, litter trays inside, so that there are no chances of friction when they're
Okay.
doing these
So they don't
things.
eat each other's food, and then
Yeah,
they don't end up
yeah,
fighting and all of
yeah,
that.
yeah. And then you teach the dog to sort of not chase, be okay, reward. But
Nice. So it's easy to manage, but you have to train them properly.
it is easy to manage if you have if you have a dog who's okay with cats.
Oh, and how do you figure out if your dog
You
is
have to
okay
see
with cats?
on your walks if a dog just lunges and runs after a cat, cannot resist running after a cat, then it's not a good idea to get a cat.
Okay, okay. But if he's comfortable, then it's fine. Quick, any kind of, if somebody wants to become a trainer or a behaviorist, okay, first tell me, what is the difference between a trainer and a behaviorist?
So first you become a trainer. Trainer is like being a teacher.
Okay,
Okay. So say a B.Ed, you have to know how to dog learns. The behaviorist is in after that, say that's a special education teacher.
so like a MBBS and an MD, kind of. Okay.
Because then you understand where the problem behaviors come from, and you use your training to train that new behavior.
So more psychology.
Yes.
Okay. So understanding the animal first.
But you have to
and
be a
then-
good trainer for that, because you
Huh,
have
of
to learn
course.
to, so you have to have some years of having a skill as a trainer, because that's kind of a physical skill of timing and
So any soft skills which you need to have a person to, be good in this career?
yeah, you have to be good with people. Unfortunately, everyone comes in thinking I'm going to work with animals, but you're working with pet parents.
Okay.
The dogs are easy, but you're working with pet parents, so you have to have a true compassion and not judgmental attitude towards pet parents.
Okay. So it's
And
you work
communicate with
not
them.
just with the dog. You're working with the
Yeah,
pet
because I'm
parents
telling
as
you
well.
about, and I'm trying to motivate you to do this for your dog. And
so it has to work for both of them, and the pet parent equally has to learn for it to be successful.
Absolutely. She's dreaming.
So if I want to become, I want to take this up as a career, where does one start?
I would start first at doing a trainer's course with Shirindhaba at her school. Then I would train as many kinds of dogs as possible, which includes going to a shelter and working with those dogs, your community dog downstairs, and pet dogs, because then you understand how different dogs
behave.
Learn, in different environments.
And how you are with them.
How
that
you are
also.
with them. How you are with them, because you also have to be quite firm, which doesn't come easy if you're an animal lover and people skills, and then maybe you can do the behavior course.
Okay. So there are specialized skilled courses. Also, Shireen is based out of Bombay.
Yes.
So if somebody is not based out of Bombay, how does one learn?
I think there are a few courses in Pune, there is in Bangalore. Many of her students have started their own academies now.
And this cannot happen online?
Oh, no. So courses are usually divided into theory that you would do online, of course, but there is, you have to work
be
with
present.
the dog
and
be corrected in that handling with the dog. Right? So you'd want to be working with the dog and have a teacher come and say, your timing is off, or you're not reading the body language, or you need to change the way your hands are moving at this point.
Okay.
Because all of that comes into play.
Okay. So it has to be physical, and if somebody wants to learn, then you start being a trainer first.
Yes.
Test yourself as a trainer, how good you are, what you need to learn or not. And then you take the next step of
behavior.
And then as a pet parent, if I have to choose a trainer for my dog or a behaviorist, what are the, say a checklist or 3-4 things which I should look for when I get somebody?
They train the dog in front of you and teach you how to train your dog.
Okay.
Because that's the skills that they should equip you with.
Yes.
Right? They do not use cruel methods, which could include choke chain, prong collars, shock collars, but also things like whacking the dog.
Okay.
You don't need any of those. Those old school things of, rolling a newspaper, smacking the dog on the nose. All of that is, those are crude methods that don't work. So you want somebody who absolutely does not hurt your dog at all. You want somebody who addresses your problems. Because you might say, what, the only thing I want is my dog should not bark at the door. I don't need my dog to do a namaste and a sit and down. Just koode na aur darwaze pe koi kisi ko bhi aane de.
Bas.
That's it.
So understand the need first, and then accordingly,
and
so
maybe
it's like
inform,
curating.
And maybe inform you a little bit, saying, I think that hip is a bit off, you might want to get it checked.
Okay.
I think your dog is a little stressed, she might want more walks. A lot of this is happening because she's not getting walks.
Okay.
So maybe also red flag a few things that you may
studying
not
the behavior, or spending time
anatomy,
assessing the dog and talking to the parent, and then training. Okay. So that's a good tip which pet parents will definitely take. So that was a lot of good to know information for pet parents and somebody who wants to make a career in this field. I see you have beautiful pets here. Eli is here and Feroz is there. I can see Maya. So tell us about them.
Okay, so Feroz is 8 months old. He's a stray cat and he's very highly bonded with my dog Eli. So always has to be around him. So he's very communicative. He's an indoor-outdoor cat. Usually at 3 a.m. he goes down. He likes
3
people.
a.m.?
Yeah.
So he'll go down himself, or you?
He'll wake me up to open the door to go down.
Oh, okay.
And then come down. So he's figured out this thing that the lady who helps me with my house works on the 12th floor. So he'll go to her house first.
Okay.
Make a ruckus over there. That family will laugh, give him a little, and then they both will come down to the house.
Oh, nice.
At 9. So that's also why the recall and the training here helps, that I can tell him to, I'm going to listen to you if you call. It lets him have this large life, right?
Yes.
For him, it's a little adventure.
Right.
8th floor, 12th floor,
Yeah.
Punita auntie, niche
And
jaate.
them being comfortable because he's not, bothering them.
And it makes him laugh because that family, when Punita comes home, she always tells me, the uncle likes him. He always asks, says, come look, your boyfriend's come, take him down. So I love these little stories of how they influence other people's lives and spread that magic.
Yes.
It would be selfish to keep it just with me.
There's a lot of people may like animals, but they may not be able to keep them.
And they don't have to. Not everybody needs to have a pet. But it's nice to have this little moment of enjoyment with it. Yes, my love. Smooth you, come. Eli is 9 years old. He is a golden retriever. He was rehomed many times before he came to me. So he is what I would call a badly bred dog. So he's not well bred at all. I believe he was bought for 50,000 rupees and flown in from Delhi. He's not worth even 5 rupees. I would say, genetically and anatomically, but he has a wonderful, wonderful temperament. He's the love of my life. He's the best dog I know. I think he makes me look much better as a trainer than I actually am. I don't think I'm that good a trainer. I think it's just that Eli is so good that he makes me look good. He works at the training school. He teaches trainers. He works.
Very nice. He's a therapy dog also.
He's a therapy dog. He works on my sessions to teach other puppies how to behave well. He teaches other cats. You can go up. You're not that small. Come on, chalo. Make the effort.
Why did you name him Feroz?
I named him Feroz because of my dog. He thinks he's a large dog in that small cat's body. Okay, so when I have aggressive dogs, he'll come out and whack them. And say, Feroz, you can't do that. That's a large dog. So, and he's really pretty, I think. So I named him after the actor Feroz Khan.
Oh, nice.
And I always like my animals to have real names, personalities. So he's Feroz, and Feroz in Urdu means sort of fearless, proud cat, person. So that's come. Yeah.
And what does Eli mean?
Eli is Hebrew for my God, which, so dogs hear shorter names better.
Yeah.
That you can stretch it. So Eli would be better than Captain. So I knew I wanted a short name with stretchable vowels, but, and it meant my God in Hebrew, which I thought was just perfect for a dog trainer. Because that works very, very well for me. And yeah, so he's a therapy dog. He works in a school. He works with my other dogs to teach pets, a lot of things. He helps me find trails when he was younger, so he was definitely my recce dog. He's taught me a lot about, he recently had surgery, so he taught me about what a dog needs when they're recovering from surgery. So he teaches me a lot. I've learned so much more by living with him. And he's a good and gentle teacher.
He's been with you for how many years now?
He's been with me in October it'll be 9 years.
Okay. Oh, so you got him when he was small?
Yeah, he was about 4 to 5 months, and he'd been in about 4 homes by that time.
Oh, in 4 months?
Not in 4 months. You'd have to think of it as 1 month because
3
month pe laaye honge Delhi se. Yeah, and then he moved through 3 homes to come to me.
And he has a sister also?
Yes, they both have a sister called Sister, which is my eldest cat, who's a stray cat. She's 12, and she's a real cat, so she's not around here right now, but she's a real cat in the sense that she has feral instincts.
She likes her space.
She likes her space, she has instincts, she chooses whom she likes and to be around, so equipment would not be...
She would not like that.
But there are my friends she loves, so she talk to them a lot, so they have that.
Nice. And I see Maya also here.
Yes.
Tell us about her.
Maya is this wonderful, wonderful creature who's just a clown, and she's my mentor's dog and my boss's dog, Shirin. I think that's one of the best parts about being a dog trainer. If you want to cozy up to your boss, you just cozy up to their dog. So Maya hangs out with me often because she's a city dog and I live here and I can give her walks and stuff.
Yes.
And she's wonderful. She's a therapy dog too. She's the best trainer on a trainer course because she will refuse to do anything, and she really teaches you skills, because Maya won't just do things for a treat. So you really have to see what Maya likes to get her to do things, and she really brings it out of you. She really makes you work hard. So she really makes the trainers, the students become very good trainers. If you've got Maya on the course, you'll become a very good trainer because Maya's taught you that. She doesn't like her face and hands being touched. So you really learn, and to win her trust to be able to do that. So she's a great, great teacher.
What is the duration of these courses? Like, say, are they divided into stages like preliminary or like a beginner course and intermediate?
No. So the trainer course is like a 3-month course. There are offline modules, there's an online module, and then there is project work.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
intense then.
It's intense because we want, if you are a Shirin trainer, you are somebody who's of international standards, who knows their stuff, who knows their theory, who's worked with various breeds, who knows what that breed is made for. So there's a caliber that you are as a Shirin trainer.
There's so much of time, effort and skills put in.
Because we want to set you up to make a living from this.
Yeah. So is it like you also assess the person who wants to become a trainer, or anybody can become a trainer?
Anybody can become a trainer.
You just don't have to be scared of animals, or you take that fear out also.
If you have applied, you can be a trainer.
Okay, so there is no pre-qualification required.
None.
Okay.
None. I think you just have to be 18. That's it.
Okay.
But we also have children who come and do our courses.
Okay.
Yeah, they may not do the intense bits of it. They might just do the offline, like the handling course. But we have lots of teenage
So
kids who
that
come.
interest may be for because they want to handle their own pets
they have
better.
their own pets and they're interested in social work. So they work with rescue animals. Lots of young kids are doing that. So they do that. And then they come back later and do like the proper course. Yeah, there are vets who come in who want to understand dog behavior because veterinary school doesn't teach that. So yeah, anybody, just, we're like dogs. We don't judge. You want to come, you come.
Okay. So you mentioned that Eli was not bred well.
Yes.
And there are cases, like for example, when we got Whiskey, even we didn't know that he has a genetic disease when we got him, because whichever way he was breeded, and we didn't get the papers also. So what is your view on so much of rampant breeding which happens? And I'm sure a lot of it is illegal also.
Yeah. So I would say, I think the power lies with the pet parent. If I am going to buy a dog, and I can understand that maybe you want to buy a dog because you have a child at home.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to ensure the best. So when I go to a breeder, I want to say, you need to give me a guarantee this dog does not have aggression. Because aggression, we know, is genetically passed through the father.
Okay.
So you have to guarantee me that the mom and dad were not related to each other. They were not siblings, so that genetic disease is less. Right? Chances. Neither of them had cancer. Neither of them had aggression. Neither of them had major things like what is breed specific, like hip dysplasia.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
You need to guarantee me that. Then you need to guarantee me that the mother is bred only every 2 or 3 years and not every year. So she's in the best of health. That she's got the best of nutrition during her pregnancy. She's got medical care. And then the puppies in that first 12 weeks, 8 weeks when they're with the mother have got a great environment where the mother has taught them things that the dog needs and which I cannot teach them like the mother can. So separation anxiety is taken off because the mother has taught them, after a while I'm going to go away and come back. There is no resource guarding because all the puppies are not fed from one plate. They're given different bowls. So they don't have to fight for food, you see? So because aggression could start there.
Yes.
So that the mother is not fearful of humans because then she'll teach that to the child.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to put down like for him 50,000 rupees, that's what I want my 50,000 rupees to buy me.
Correct.
Right?
So, but I don't think so pet parents or people who who decide to adopt or buy a pet, they're aware of these things.
But then I would say, why do you spend 1 month researching a car, but get into a car and go buy a dog that you see at the pet store?
Yeah, so I think the gap is there. That there's no research done so much. It's just that this dog looks cute and
this dog is trendy. I've just seen a reel about pit bulls. That's why I want to do it. But you spend so much time researching your phone and every feature. And if you're a photographer, you're going to get the phone with a great camera.
Yes.
Right? But then if you're going to have a child in the house, why aren't you getting a breed that's friendly with kids? Or that will live in a society because they live in a building?
Correct. So as pet parents or anybody who wants to get a pet,
you're a consumer,
do your proper research first.
You're a consumer, you're researching everything, research
So it's
the
good
dog.
for the pet's life also and your own life
and
also.
your own life.
Yes.
You want a life together. We all bring home a pet to have a great life together.
Yes.
Nobody brings home a pet to be unhappy. I know that. Like everyone does it from the best place.
Yes.
Research it. And of course research things like you would with a child. Like, do I have this much money, disposable income?
Yes.
Is my car large enough? I'm going to have vet bills. I have a large dog. She's going to need that much food. Protein is important, so it's expensive, dog food. So just like I would have with a child, I would look at those things also. Is my house large enough? Is my car large enough? Disposable income hai kya? Will I walk 3 times a day with the dog?
So it's time, money, space, all those things you need to think of.
Will I pay a trainer if I need to?
Yeah, correct. So you just mentioned Instagram in your conversation. So we see a lot of pet influencers also on Instagram now, and most of it is like a very happy picture. Pet is following all the commands,
which is all of Instagram, but you only put out happy
which is
things.
all the correct. So what do you think, is that also putting a lot of pressure on people who either have pets also, or who get pets seeing
Yes.
that kind of life?
Yes, I think so, because you see what you see is an edited reel. For instance, even if we took this picture right now, you say, you know what, I want this. I'm going to go out and get 2 dogs and a cat.
Yeah, and it's such a
Like,
nice
this is
picture.
so fun, right? This is so
Yeah.
fun. But, you know,
There's a lot of work gone behind. Yeah.
right? There's individual training into each dog.
Yes.
I make, I work very hard to afford the kind of food he needs.
Yes.
I will arrange my sessions such that I walk him, because
Yes.
I am his walker, groomer, cook, driver.
Everything.
I have no
Correct.
help. I don't, that's the bond I want to have with my dog. And then he gives me this. Right? That's what
Yes.
I've invested in my dog, and that's why he's giving me this, and that's why this cat is giving me this. And that's why even this dog, who's like a friend dog, gives me this.
Yes.
And now my investment is not just that. My investment was going and studying it
Yeah. Yes.
since 2011
Yeah.
to have this dog, right?
Train yourself
Yeah,
also.
so maybe you don't want to become a trainer, but please understand that this idyllic scenario is because I have studied it and put in that effort.
Yes. So what the pretty picture which we see on Instagram
There's
has
a lot of-
a lot of work behind.
There's a lot of work behind it. So, and also you want to see what is happening. If that's an influencer, then what does an influencer do? That's a marketing strategy.
And that's
They're
his-
selling you
yeah,
something, right?
that's what they are selling.
So it's
and-
good to know if you want to buy a bowl, if you want to buy a leash, you want to buy that. But if you're choosing a trainer, I think trainers, like doctors, it's always good to get word of mouth.
Okay.
It's always good to know, did he help solve your problem, and did you know how to solve that problem
Yes.
afterwards?
Yes. Afterwards. Yes.
Right? And was the dog harmed in any way? So maybe it's good to find a trainer in your area, but remember, Instagram is curated content.
Yes. Of course. It's content what sells.
And content what sells, and that's not what you should use to make a decision about which breed to get, because I get a lot of people say, I saw videos of pit bulls,
Yeah.
and I got a pit bull, and so on, or beagles. So maybe that.
So it's study the pet you want to get home,
Research,
and
ask people.
research, ask people.
Ask people who have that pet.
Yeah. And then whether the pet's lifestyle and your lifestyle.
Yeah. What do you do for?
know,
So speak to a friend like who says, what do you do for your dog for this? How much time do you give? How much disposable income are you putting aside? What are you doing on holidays?
Yeah. So, I hear a lot of people say, जो हम खाते हैं वही खिलाते हैं, which I think may not be the right way of doing. The dog needs are very different from what humans eat.
Yeah.
So what we understand is don't make Instagram the decision making point, just seeing, because there's a lot of work which goes behind and it has a different objective.
Yes.
So research properly before and speak to experts, friends, family who has a dog, and then make a decision. Thank you, Mitali. We'll just do a nice quick rapid fire,
Sure.
which will again be more informative and some
super.
fun also.
Okay, let's do this.
So let's start with what does a dog want for his birthday?
Usually wants to run outside, get dirty in mud,
Okay.
eat some meat
Okay.
or protein, but usually they do want to get really, really dirty.
So do they really know it's my birthday?
No.
No. So
No,
it's
but they do have a very happy special day.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
it just makes us happy.
It makes us happy, yeah.
And what do cats want on their birthdays?
Cats, they probably want to sit in the sun for a while.
Okay.
They probably want to hunt a bit, like you play with the wand to do a hunt and climb onto things. They would love that.
Okay.
Depending on your cat. She would like some special food, wet food, fish maybe.
Okay. Cats or dogs? Who's the real boss at home?
Oh, cats all the way.
Cats always.
But if your cats and dog, like if they gang up on you, then it's
Then you are in trouble.
Yeah, in trouble. If they gang up on you.
And
you're in trouble.
is it possible to correct that behavior?
No, it's cute, so you don't. But yeah, so Feroz will get Eli to open a door and then go and get food, and he'll drop something, then Eli can eat it.
Oh,
so.
nice.
Yeah, so
Okay. So since you've been a journalist, what's the funniest headline you have written as a journalist related to animals?
Oh, related to animals. I think it'll have to be Kutta Kamina.
Oh, your Instagram bio is also
Kitty Kutta Kranti.
Kitty Kutta Kranti.
Yeah.
So what is the Kranti?
Oh, the Kranti is feminism.
Oh, okay, nice. So who has a better instinct, pets or journalists?
Oh, pets all the way.
Pets, okay. If you could interview any famous pet,
A famous pet. I would like to do Barack Obama's dog.
Oh.
Or maybe some of the dogs in our army.
okay. Yeah, so since you mentioned army, I wanted to know, there are a lot of dogs who work with forces. So is there a special kind of training needed for that, or is it like a similar to a therapy
It's
dog?
similar. No, it's not like a therapy dog at all, because you want suspicion. You want to heighten their instincts for danger. So smallest sounds, smallest movements, and attack work. But the first thing that you need to teach them is self-control, because it's easy to teach the dog to grab. What I need to teach the dog is to bring down that instinct when I say drop, when I say leave.
Yes. What one pet behavior you would love to, pet behavior myth you would love to bust?
Oh,
You can tell me one for dog, one
yeah,
for cat.
we're not going to love this at all. My dog loves me unconditionally.
Oh, dogs don't?
No, it's survival. You're giving them food, water, shelter.
Oh, I always felt my dogs love me.
Sorry, it's not about us. We're not the most important thing on the planet.
And what about cats?
What about cats? That they cannot love.
They
That
cannot love.
That they're selfish. You know, like people say cats are not loyal and are selfish.
Yeah.
Extremely loving. It's just, you have to think of it, I always think of it as like a marriage. Like someone's always complaining, you never buy me flowers, you never buy me flowers. But the husband says, but I made sure your car has petrol in it.
Yeah.
That's how I show my love. So it's like that. So you're thinking of a cat, don't love me because you're not wagging your tail and jumping on me like a dog does. The cat say, but I can hunt and I choose to stay with you. That's love. I'm independent, but I choose to stay with you. I'm with you in every room.
Okay.
I
Two
hunt.
myths, as in two personal myths busted
Yeah.
today.
Well,
If you could train one wild animal,
Oh, that's a long list. I wouldn't want to train because remember, I don't want them to do what I want. But if I wanted to communicate and bond and commune with an animal, that's a long list. Great apes for sure.
oh,
The chimpanzee, the gorilla, the orangutan. Great
are
apes.
they trainable?
We can communicate with them. We have 99. We share 99% of our DNA with them.
Yes.
With bonobos, so we can communicate with them very much. So like not train. Again, train is not the word I would use. If I was able to live and work with them, great apes for sure.
Is somebody doing
Jane
this
Goodall,
kind of work?
Jane Goodall,
Okay.
pioneering apologist, pioneering, and there's a wonderful exhibition going on right now in the Museum of Solutions about Jane Goodall.
Okay.
So for certain elephants. Right now, I'm smitten by otters and capybaras. Otters are fantastic. Foxes, we here have just started the domestication process because it's getting harder for them to hunt because of diminishing resources,
Jungles,
cities,
yeah.
and everything. So they have learned to start those behaviors, enduring behaviors that manipulate humans into giving them food. So we believe they've restarted the domestication process, and that would be damn fascinating to watch.
Yeah, very interesting.
That would be very fascinating. So yeah, I think great apes and all of these mammals, sea mammals, dolphins, and for sure.
Great. So that was all from my side, and it was a great rapid fire. You were very good at it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mitali, for being with us and sharing all
pleasure.
your knowledge and insights
pleasure.
on Tales of Tales with MD.
My absolute pleasure.
That was all on this episode of Tales of Tales with MD. Today we spoke to Mitali Parekh. Thank you all for joining. We'll soon come back with another very interesting guest.
Thank you.